What is going on, players? And welcome back to the Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays, on FM22. Today we're looking at the end of season review for our first full season in charge of Slovan Liberec. We're also going to do the transfer window, and we're going to play some European football games because it's our first season in Europe, because we did not play in Europe when we were managing Daugavpils, even though we should have, but we did get sacked. Future endeavoured is what we'll call it. We'll WWE it. Future endeavoured. So if you do want to enjoy this episode, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now let's get into the video. Right, fellas, so after what I suppose a lot of people would say was a successful season, I'm disappointed because we were top of the league for so long and then ended up not winning the league because we're absolute trash. Memberberry had an average rating of 7.36, so I'm guessing he was the signing of the season. Conatar. Actually, Memberberry did really well. 39 appearances, 17 goals, 12 assists. The guy was an absolute worldly of a player. Serrano, surprised he did as well as he did. Didn't think he was going to be all that important of a player. Yeah, as you can see, we were comfortably clear before we started the Champions group, and shit hit the fan. So they were expecting a top half finish. We finished second, so they're delighted. In the Mall Cup, we were expected to reach the quarterfinal. Did say just be competitive, but we reached the semi-final. The board are happy, but we didn't win it. To be fair, we did have a fairly comfortable run to the semi-final. That 16-0 win, quite a victory. Biggest win, yes it was. Match to remember was against Sigma Olomouc, which we comfortably won, and goal of the season came in the 16-0 victory. Drazic scoring from 26 metres out. So our sponsorship is down ever so slightly. We still have a 3-star reputation. Broadcast revenue, pretty much non-existent. Corporate and hospitality has more than doubled. No, almost doubled. Competition prize money is up. For some reason we don't have a competition prize money from last season. And our match day commercial and retail has increased. The top 5 shirt sales were Chori, who is leaving, Sipek, Memberberry, Drazic could be leaving, and Isaac, who could also be on the way out. Our team of the season, actually, average rating wise, pretty decent. Holech is the only one in the team that isn't above a 7. Muller goes in at right back. Panak, Salimi, and Yaralim pretty much was our back 4. Isaac and Tischler were our mainstay in central midfield. Sipik, Drazic, and Memberberry was behind Chori. To be fair, Chori 26 appearances, or 26 goals and 11 assists. Memberberry 17 and 12. Sipek did quite well, so 15 and 6. Panak, just the 10 goals from centre back. The majority of them were penalties. Fans player of the season was Chori. Young player of the season was a Memberberry. Goal of the season was the Drazic. No signing of the season. I think that's robbed Memberberry. Chori won top goal scorer. Memberberry had most assists. Chori was most player of the match and highest average rating. But Panak had 65 passes per 90 minutes. As you can see, we won the manager of the month 5 times. Count them, 5 times. Check first division striker of the year. And whatever this is went to Chori. Chori also had 26 goals. Most overall goals and most league goals with 24. So he only scored 2 in the cup. Also the most player of the match awards in a season. Is the most league goals for the club. And young player went to Mohammed Harvey. 15 years, 135 days. Has anyone... Memberberry's made it onto the bench. Isaac is now on the bench as well. So it's not bad. Not bad at all. Holech continues at Madu, player who left recently. Kosnilinik Mezras. Who's Meshrish? Karol Meshrish. He left before we arrived. That is fine. Where are they now? Nobody cares. We've already looked at the season review. Don't want to talk about it anymore. The board are disappointed because we failed to become the most reputable team, and they wanted us to grow the club's reputation by the end of the season. But we've done everything else. So, there's a lot of new things. So they want us to play attacking football, develop clubs or players using the club's youth system, which is just terrible. Sign players based in Czech Republic, sign players under the age of 20 for the future, play possession, entertaining high-tempo football, work within the wage budget, sign players to sell for a profit, minimum 2-year contracts for first-team players. That's an awful lot of things for the club culture. They want us to reach the 4th qualifying round of the Conference League. Our contract does expire at the end of this season. And they want a top half finish. We'll just accept all that because that's fine. Good break, come back, aiming for mid-table, top half finish. Something we can all get behind. Perfect. Good account of ourselves. Sort of direction I'm after. We'll wait till you get back and enjoy your time off, lads. Have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. The lads are back on the 14th of June. So Carantal. Oh, I popped him on my my shortlist because he's one of the always new gen players who the new gen players who always come through as just as a player, like Fraser Sharp and is there anyone else? There's always a Dave as a parody, always come true. So I just had a look to see where Carantal was because I've seen him turn into quite a worldly of a player. There's also an Israeli. Oh, he's the Israeli. There's someone else. Other saves I've seen him become like one of the best Israeli strikers in the world from Israel. But seems like he hasn't quite hit those heights in this save. So we will be back in just a second, whenever it is that we're going to be playing our first Europa Conference League game, because we are in the second qualifying round. Yeah. Unfortunately for Malad Bolasev, they miss out on Europe because Victoria Pulsen won the cup. So even though they finished 4th, still don't get Europe. We lost the league by a point. Don't want to talk about it. So Sparta Prague win it again. So we'll be back in just a second with Annie and all the updates. Hopefully we have some good news. I'm really disappointed that they were peeved about us not being able to get the thing. Oh yeah, we got a senior affiliate. It is Real Sociedad. Just because I wanted to try and get a bit more money into the club. So like I said, back in a second for first games. Also don't have our budgets yet. Maybe we just jump forward a little bit. Hopefully we get our budgets at some point. No, I'm guessing the budgets are what we see here. Potentially getting a bit more wage budget. But I have to wait and see. Right, fellas, so we are now back for the transfer roundup to the point before the first game of the season. We're taking on a team in the Europa Conference League. And then in the next episode, we're going to be playing the second leg against them and our first league game of the season, because this first league game of the season goes in between, which is interesting, but it's what we're doing. So as it stands currently, we have sold 4.6 million worth of players, which probably is more than that because we've had 2 signings of 2.5 million, or 2 sales of 2.5 million. So Tomas Chori, as you're aware, joined Ascoli, where he hasn't played a competitive game yet. He's playing in Serie B. Could have been in the Champions League or the Europa Conference League with us. Decided, fuck it. Could have been in Champions League had we, won the goddamn league. But he has left, as you're aware, down to Serie B. I hope he enjoys it. Bunch of players who've gone out on loan. Valenta finally left us on a permanent deal to Wisla Plock. After spending a season last year in the second division and didn't really do an awful lot. 54k. Good riddance. Thanks, but no thanks. Then Enfali Diallo a player I was actually intending on having as like potential first choice this year. Like he was going to be pushing Hullech to be number one. He left. 2 million potential rising to 2.5. So we made a massive profit on this guy. I think the Direct Football should give himself a pat on the back for this. 1.4k we paid for him last year, and then he's gone to Salzburg for 2 million. I think he has to play a certain amount of games for us to get the other 500,000. And then Sun has been sent on loan as well. So we've Becca is one of our other goalkeepers. He's gone out on loan as well. So we now only have 3 goalkeepers in the entire squad. So if Hullech picks up an injury and Karadasic, whatever his name is, if he picks up an injury as well, then we're playing a 16-year-old called Pantek. So that's what's left. That's who's left so far. We've had, I think it was 13 players released. Yeah, so no majorly important players. No. A goalkeeper released, but he wasn't very good. Anyway, so those players have left, but we've brought in some pretty decent players, I think. Petr Stajner from Milad Boleslav. He's just like he's our 13th choice striker. I think he's our 4th choice in the first team. Decent little player. We'll see how he progresses. Has 5-star potential. So I'm not going to complain about that. We paid 37,000 or something, 35,000. Victor Mukoko, who I've already shown you, he has come in. He's going to be a backup option. 21 years old, still has 5-star potential. I'm not sure he's ever going to hit that, but we'll see what happens. He's fine. He doesn't say he's injury prone, but since he's arrived, he's picked up 2 injuries and arrived with an injury. So I'm a little bit worried that potentially he is just an injury prone mess. Pablo Rosales, I did not see this guy arriving. Very determined, has great agility and pace. He's physically pretty good. Finishing for a striker, they reckon he's our best striker. Or well, they did. They're saying he's a right winger now. Okay. According to this, he is the best. He was the best striker. No longer. He's played 1 game for us. He was off playing in the Gold Cup before he's Guatemalan, isn't he? Or is he Honduran? Guatemalan. Got beaten by Murka. So came back, played a game, and picked up an injury. Because of course he did. Predrag. No, we don't need to worry about him. Charlie Barnes. Okay, I'm just going to go this way. So, released by Manchester United. He's joined us. Just a decent left back option, I guess. He's not the best, but we struggle with left backs. Also, I think he's a left winger here. He's a decent attacking option. Physically, it's hit or miss. He's not very strong. Doesn't have great balance, but he's got great acceleration. He's got good teamwork, so don't be surprised if he plays a few games. Although Yarolim, who is currently injured, will be first choice. Who are you? Bogdanovic. I think, yeah, you're not great. Nobody cares. And then Mandic, who is, after arriving yesterday, I knew this guy arrived recently, a centre-back who is physically pretty good, mentally is fine, is like partially blind, but still is fine. Technically, not great. Can tackle though, and that is pretty good. 5'11", so he's not the tallest centre-back in the world. Also hasn't played a huge amount of games in his career, so he's not going to be in the first team for quite a while, if ever. So that's what we've got so far. We do have some other options coming in, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I don't think we're going to have any major signings for the time being, at least. We don't have any big players joining us. The first team squad is a little bit on the smaller side. I guess there's 26 players. A lot of them are. If we go to, I don't think I've actually selected the. No, I haven't selected the league yet. We've 19 players registered for the Europa Conference League. Originally, we did have Diallo as one of our main players in it, but it's not going to happen now. We're going to be playing against Belenenses. Sad. In the Europa Conference League second qualifying round. If we get through this round, I think we're playing Lech or Andad, I think it is. Ashdod. Lech or Ashdod. So we'll be playing in either Portugal or Israel, but we have to get past Belenenses first. And that is what we're going to to do right now. First game of the new season is going to be a European game. I will update you on any other transfers that come about. We have moved back to the 4-2-3-1 because it's served us well. I'm starting Barnes at left back. Conatar is on the bench, is wanted. Isaac. We've had so many offers for Isaac. He has a release clause of 1.7 million, I think it is. Yeah, minimum fee release clause, 1.7 million. Someone pays it, they can have him. The closest we've gotten so far, I think, is 1.2 million. The Director of Football rejected it, and now all the offers are back to 300,000. So I'm not 100% sure they know what's going on. We do have a lot of players that are attracting interest from other clubs. We also have quite a number of injuries. Yarolim is still recovering from an injury. Rosales picked up his injury in the last friendly I think we played. Serrano still recovering from his broken leg that he got at the end of last season, and Mokoko is after picking up an injury recently. We did have a part exchange offer for Serrano, which I would have taken had it been me, but my Director of Football said no. They were offering us 300,000, I think it was, or 400,000, something like that, and a pretty decent right back, which would have been nice because Muller, I want to play in central midfield, but we don't have any good right backs. So yeah, would have been an under 21 Hungarian would have been our new right back, but no, we don't get to have young players, I guess. It would be nice if we could make it into the group stage. Decent amount of money. We're almost not in debt currently. We almost have money in the bank, which would be a nice change because we haven't had money in the bank for. Actually, don't know. I came to the club and there wasn't money in the bank, so it's been kind of been like this all the time. So yeah, after I failed the grow the club's reputation at the end of last season, this season it increased, and they were like, "We've done it 2 years in advance." I think it said 2 years in advance, which was just mind-boggling because they were like, "Oh, you haven't done this," and then like 2 weeks later, it was like, "Hey, good job on doing that." It's like, thanks. Sipek finds Chaldek, and Chaldek heads over from like 6 yards out. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to rename him Chupamoting. Drazic, yeah, not having a great game. Sipek's picked up a knock. Not ideal. Not ideal. What do we have on the bench? Kral, Tischler, Calais. One thing I would say is Chaldek is our goal scoring striker currently. Like, if he has a poor season, we won't be scoring many goals. Charlie Barnes finds Drazic. Barnes puts it across. Chaldek. Very easy. Very easy for the goalkeeper. Just testing him, just make sure he's alive. I didn't actually go through the team, so we're giving Barnes and Zach debuts today. Competitive debuts. They both played friendlies, but not played competitive matches. And they don't seem to be doing too poorly. Zach is more of a ball-winning midfielder, but I don't really want a ball-winning midfielder. I kind of want him to be a box-to-box because it's just like a more aggressive version. That is what I'm looking for. So we're going to take Sipek off because he seems to be unaffected by his injury. Well, I'm taking him off. Who do we have? We don't have anything on the bench. Drazic. You do a thing. Make you an inverted winger on that side. You can be an inside forward on that side. Sipek can come off for Kral. I swapped the 2v around. What use I do with she? I can make you an advanced playmaker. You can be box to box. Mazzella? You want to be a Mazzella? I make Kral the Mazzella. Zach can be the box to box midfielder. And we'll leave it at that for the time being. There's a fairly high chance that Calais is going to be coming on as our left winger. Kral comes back from his loan at Listen when I didn't want him to go on loan to back to be the number 10 again this year, and he is straight back in the team. If Drazic continues to play poorly, there's a high chance that Kral will go straight back in as the starting attacking midfielder, because Drazic only kept his place because he played all of last year. And yeah. Alright, come on, I'm going to demand more, because encouragement doesn't seem to be doing an awful lot for them. Souza, Salimi heads away. We also don't have any new centre-backs, so our centre-back partnership we've had since we arrived is going to continue being our centre-back partnership. Isik has picked up the ball. Back to Kral. Salimi, Panak. Salimi, Panak, Zach. Panak, Zach. Yeah, Zach attack. Salimi has the ball. Charges forward, passes back to Holech, who had interest from a couple of clubs. Chaldek is true. Keeper just gets a touch on it. Holech had interest from, I think I told you were there actually. I think it was Krasnodar were the club that were interested in him. Haven't heard anything from them. They've dropped interest. I'm guessing they signed a new goalkeeper and it just wasn't Holech. So yeah, Zach tries to put Chaldek through but can't. 66 minutes is about time we make a change. Drazic is playing poorly on a yellow card. Manolo Calais can come on. I'm going to play him as an inside forward because I think as a striker, in theory, he should be able to, his scoring should be, or his shooting should be better than his crossing. Muller. Yeah. Partly guessed that was going to happen. Kral is playing a lot better than Isik is. I've not really seen either of them. I don't want to say it again. That was really poor defending. It's only 1-0 though, so there's still a chance. Holech, with the start of the highlight, finds Muller. Isik, big ball forward. Keeper, hoping the keeper would make a mistake and somebody would end up getting on the ball. Fortunately he did. Muller wins the ball back. Finds Chaldek, Memberberry, Zach. Isik is true, and he's put it wide. Okay, I'm going to swap the two of you around. Isik, you are a good Mazzella. Kral can be an advanced playmaker. And I'm going to take Muller for Conatar. So Barnes is going to play the whole game. Barnes, to be fair to him, does not speak the language and is actually playing pretty well. So I'm not going to complain. I will complain if we lose this game 2-0 because I don't think we deserve to lose 2-0. That's offside. No? Okay. It's been a fairly tight game. I don't think this is a 2-0 result. I think 1-0 may be fair. We are going to demand more. If we lose by a goal, I'd say fair enough. If we lose by, oh my god, Ferencváros are winning 7-3. Why would you be watching this game when you could be watching Ferencváros smashing Dila 7-3? We're going to lose this game. There's not Chaldek has just continued to be inefficient like he was at the start of last year. They have a guy on their team called Yaya Sithole. My god, what a name. Charlie Barnes was our best performer. You did yourselves proud. That's all I could ask for. Muller, I'm actually not going to shout at anyone yet because I don't want to unmotivate them. I'll have a chat with them after. So that is where we're going to leave this episode. Next one we will be playing against Daugavpils and the second leg against Belenenses. So hopefully at home Chaldek can stop being an absolute shitter and we can put the ball in the back of the net a couple of times and win the goddamn tie. So If you have enjoyed this episode, do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with all of your friends. Let me know who you think is going to be the most influential transfer. And if you think Chaldek is going to be our number one striker, or if we're going to find someone who is actually going to be able to score goals. I really need someone to score goals. Thank you very much for watching, fellas, and I will see you in the next one.